Well, good afternoon, YouTube. So, I have had quite a bit of time between my last videos and now, and I apologize. I know when I had my last video up, my everyday carry, what I carry, I had related that I was going to do another video soon about why I carry. And so here I am now, 3 months later, making that video. It's been really hectic at work. I can give all kinds of excuses, but it is what it is. It's 3 months later, and here we are. So, I kind of want to respond to, well, there's quite a few people that I'd like this to be in response to, but basically, the title of this is going to be Why I Carry a Gun. Now, the reasons that I carry definitely aren't going to be the same reasons that you carry. The purpose behind my carrying a gun may not be the same purpose as you carrying a gun, and it may be. I don't know. The reason that I carry a gun is in 4 stages. And stage number 1 is for my personal protection at all times. Number 2 is for the protection of my family. Number 3 is for the protection of my property. And number 4 would be for the protection of others. In that order. Myself, my family, my property, and then everyone else. You know, I hear this term going around all over YouTube. Everyone is saying, and it's negative and positive, about sheepdog. Never Enough Ammo and Yankee Marshall both did great videos on that. I'll put it down in the comments. I'll add in the comment section where you can go and watch those videos. Both Yankee had a really, really good video. I don't necessarily agree with all of his stances, because I do kind of agree with James Yeager that as a concealed carry holder or as an open carry holder, whichever you are, regardless of your state, you are held to a higher standard as a gun holder, and I think that we are responsible for any situation that we are directly in. I do agree with the Yankee Marshall on that, where being in an active situation is a lot different than being far removed from a situation and then trying to insert yourself into that situation. So this term sheepdog is going all over the place, and let's talk about what is a sheepdog, right? So when you hear the preppers and the gun YouTubers and the gun community as a whole, they consider a sheepdog someone who's well prepared and can protect in a situation. And that's not what that term was originally used for in the first place at all. That term was used for either someone that society considers a sheepdog. So it would be your law enforcement officers, your EMS, your reserve officers, your military personnel, that type of people that society considers someone that protects them. That is what the term sheepdog was originally used for, was that group. So with that being said, I mean, I'm not law enforcement, so I don't consider myself a sheepdog. Now, I do carry a gun with me everywhere that I go. As a matter of fact, I took this week off from work, and oh yeah, I'm carrying right now. I always have a gun on me at all times. Like I said, one of the reasons that I carry is for personal protection, as well as protecting my family, my property, and others. So I have a gun on me at all times. Maybe you don't live right in the big middle of a city where you're worried about having to have a gun on you all the time, even at home. If it's not on my person, it's sitting somewhere close where I can get to it, out of range of my children, obviously. But I've always got a gun around. It's not that I feel safer. It's not that I know I'm well protected. It's just that that's my personal choice. I choose to have a gun around me at all times. So I don't consider myself a sheepdog. I don't consider myself someone that society would say, hey, he's here to protect me. Because that's not what I'm here for. We've all heard the stories. When seconds count, cops are minutes away. I can't carry a cop on my hip, so I carry a gun. We can laugh about all these all day long, but the truth is, James Yeager has it right when he says, you are the one who is responsible for your own protection. Because police can't always be there at all the time. And since I don't have James Yeager in my pocket, I carry a gun. That's why I carry. So, I don't understand why people would want to call themselves a sheepdog. I mean, I understand, don't get me wrong. Now, let's be honest, guys like James Yeager, okay, law enforcement, for all the years he did law enforcement, civilian contractor over in Afghanistan, all the things that he did, I could see why he would consider himself a sheepdog, because even though he's not actively now in law enforcement or what, I mean, he has been, and he understands the sheepdog mentality, and I fully think of him as a sheepdog. Myself, Yankee Marshall, Never Enough Ammo. I mean, come on, guys. We're just plain Jane citizens. Now, I was in the Marine Corps. I did do time in the military. But I don't consider myself a sheepdog now. That was years ago, and now I'm a civilian, and I protect myself and my family. So a lot of people like to give themselves that persona of being a sheepdog without not ever really being trained to be a sheepdog. So they like that whole mentality. But let's be honest, I mean, unless you're a James Yeager or one of those tactical types, sheepdog doesn't apply. So stop calling yourself a sheepdog. You know what you should call yourself? A well-armed sheep. You know, Benjamin Franklin said that, yeah, absolutely. It's a conversation and a well-armed sheep deciding who's going to be for dinner. I am a well-armed sheep. So I consider myself a well-armed sheep, and I also give myself awareness. I train with my pistols. I carry all the time. I'm comfortable with my pistols. I train with every one of them that I carry. Guys, every gun I have, I've shot multiple times training for that purpose. Not saying that I'm any better than anyone else, but I don't believe that you should carry a gun that you don't train with. You go out, you buy yourself a brand new gun, and you're looking all cool because you got open carry in your state, let's say, and it's open, and then you go to fire an active shooter, and you haven't trained with it, and you haven't learned that it's 3 inches to the left. You end up dead. Guys, train, train, train. Even if it's just practicing shooting with the pistol you've got. Train drawing it, train shooting it. I'm not saying put yourself in an active shooter situation. I would love to go to James Yeager School and learn tactical training. There's a shooting solution place here in the Tulsa area that I've considered going to, and I do plan on taking some classes, some active classes, learning the draw, the muscle memory for pulling and shooting. But I do not consider myself a sheepdog. I do not consider myself someone who would actively go pursuing an active shooter situation. I do, however, know that if I was in the mall and I was carrying, which would not really be legal in Tulsa because it is posted no carry, but if I were carrying and someone started shooting, yes, I would get my family to safety, and yes, I would probably in that situation actively look for the shooter and engage if necessary. Absolutely. Because the 4 rules, obviously for myself, then my family and my property, and then others. I don't leave others out of it. I can't leave others out of it. We have a huge responsibility whenever we take it upon ourselves to get a gun license and carry a gun. The responsibility is that you have that gun on you, and if you end up in a situation where it is necessary to use that, we use it. That is the purpose of it. It's no more than another tool to use daily in our lives. Now, the reasons I carry a gun is to protect myself, my family, my property, and then others. And I don't agree that I would jump in the fight if it were far enough away that I would do harm by putting myself in the situation. But James Yeager has some really good videos I'm also going to put down in the posts. Your responsibility to be in the fight is for a purpose. And we're all here for a purpose, and we all have a gun permit for a purpose. Now that purpose for that permit starts with us. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there at all. Now, just because someone is holding a gun in a manner that doesn't directly reflect to me does not mean that that person will not use it for that purpose. We all need to stop and consider that we have these weapons upon us for a reason, and that reason is that the cops can't be everywhere. They cannot be at all places at all times. They just can't be. And with that in mind, protecting yourself, protecting your family, protecting what you have, but also protecting others. I know that that's kind of hard to say. A lot of people are going to come to this video. I know I'm going to have those guys that are going to come here and say, I would never put myself in an active situation that I wasn't in the first place. And I just say to you, you know, James Yeager said, you know, somebody told him, if I was there, I wouldn't do it. You're going to tell my 10-year-old boy why I died if I did? And he said, well, are you going to tell that man's 10-year-old boy why you didn't protect him? Why you had a gun and didn't do anything? Now, I'm not sure if I'm with him on the whole live hero, dead hero, live coward, dead coward. I'm not sure if I'm all into that, because that is a mentality. That's more of a mentality and less of a. It's more of a mentality and less of an active issue with most normal people. Not everybody's wired like him. I would hope that I am wired like him some, that I would protect people, but you never know until you get put in that situation. I'm going to post I'm going to post underneath here for his 2 videos that are on an active shooter. Keeping in mind that I'm not 100% on board with him on all of it, and he was very emotional in the second video because it was right after the Sandy Hook shootings. It was a little vulgar. James, love you, man, but I'm not sure about the vulgarity. It's not really necessary. You don't have to be vulgar to get your point across. Love your videos, though, absolutely. But the four possibilities, I'm not sure I'm completely on board with. You want to call me a coward for not actively engaging someone because it wouldn't do any good, that's fine. You can call me a coward. I'm secure enough in my manhood to not worry about someone calling me a coward. But I do believe that we have the responsibility, if we are within the range of protecting another person, of doing so. With that being said, those are the reasons I carry. There's 4 reasons. Reason number 1 is to protect myself. Reason number 2 is to protect my family. Reason number 3 is to protect my property. Reason number 4, to protect others. Thank you.